Alright people, back again on the update. Cleaned up the cut, did a little medic duty. Don't think I need to stitch it. It is between two joints, thankfully. That is cleaned. It is a hell of a gash. That's from Romeo. Yes, we had come to Jesus talk this morning. He may be 135-ish pounds, and I'm 138-ish, I think, right now. Fear no dog, y'all. And especially if you live in my house, I don't play dog biting, and neither should you. Little dogs, big dogs, doesn't matter. Because, you know, if that had been in... He's not at all aggressive with kids or people in general, but when he gets in that frenzy mode that he wants to get the neighbor's dog, because the neighbor's dog got him at the end of the nose between the fence fighting before, and he's on a mission to get payback now. Yeah, I don't play that game. So, yeah, he was over the line today. I mean, he's got about one more time to step to that line again, and we're going to go ahead and de-show him. He will not be a show dog any longer. He will not even be bred, y'all. He will be snipped. And, actually, you know, he's not. He's a good dog in general. However, I don't play dog aggression at all. So if you got your boys that are hanging or making you get that ballsiness, that testosterone flowing to where you want to go get the one next door who's got his set hanging, I got you. I got both of y'all. Mixing up some Portuguese pepper paste. I told y'all I was going to go with this higher concentrate since it was enough for him to sneeze and shake it off this morning. It does burn. I tasted it myself. That's the new brew, y'all. I just boiled it up in the microwave, and I can tell you just smelling the fumes. Whew, that's out of control. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and boiling it again and letting it marinate so it can get even hotter, because it's got all the seeds and everything in there. Get out of that up the nose view. My hair is slowly turning into, in my makeup, did makeup for the video today, it's slowly beginning raccoon eyes, so I'm starting to look like your girl from Suicide Squad. Not that that's a bad thing. Harley Quinn is hot, but come on, y'all. Tried to look nice for the video this morning, and this is what I get. So, didn't really get to finish my coffee. I hope you didn't eat the crispy, overdone hash brown, well, home fries. I'm going to eat them. They're crunchy, but good to go. And it is what it is, y'all. I'm going to go print up those other two... maybe 3 or 4 charts that'll show you crosshairs, because I didn't get to show those yet on the video. I'll make sure this doesn't overboil in the microwave, because that's ugly to clean that up. It hurts, y'all. Burns your skin too. I'm gonna go ahead and damn, fuck, get it away from there. Door opening time. I'm gonna go ahead and print up my last few months of cycles of charting, so you can see what crosshairs look like. I think one of them I had to force crosshairs because I knew where I ovulated, but sometimes Fertility Friend will have its own mind and say, no, I don't think you ovulated yet, and I know I did. So I went ahead and forced crosshairs, which gives you blue crosshairs instead of red. So I'll show you that because that's on one of the charts. But basically I'll show you the comparison temps for why I am convinced that that first dip and rise back up 0.71 the next day on CD14 is a true ovulation. Because it matches all my previous cycles from the last, I want to say 3, 4, probably 6 months, but I'm only going to go back 3 or 4. So I'm going to go print those up, and that way I can get them on the video. I was going to wait to take the OPK before I post this video, but with all the doggy drama this morning, I need to go clean my finger. God dang. Woo! That pepper is no joke, y'all. Tried to get that neighbor's dog over there too. That lucky motherfucker. He's lucky because he kept dodging. Just he would stick his face just quick enough. Oh, I'm gonna get his ass. Anyway, that's brutal, y'all. How the hell that damn dog got sprayed with even half of that and ran around? I don't know. Can't even breathe the fumes in the kitchen, and you see the microwave's closed. Need to open that door while I got the door open, aerate it. God, another nice Florida day. It's 51 this morning. I want to say it's probably got up near 60 now. It may just be the adrenaline because I'm a little irritated still. Anyway, showed you the hand. There's one more view for y'all that ain't squeamish. That's the actual cut. I already peroxided it and cleaned it and everything. So it's not bleeding anymore. That's just, well, duh, I'm not stupid, but that red bloodline is actually the cut, so it's barely bleeding. It's not a big deal. I'll go put a band-aid on it. Neosporin and band-aid, and it's rough in here, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get those charts printed out, and I'm going to show those next, and that way I can describe them while I am talking to you. Alright, people, finally back. If you hear Spanish in the background, I promise you I'm not having a party. I am trying to learn Spanish again. Tengo que aprender español otra vez. Yo tuve 4 años en la escuela, pero no recuerdo mucho. Sorry, people, I'm never going to have a bilingual channel. I can't do it. Mom's Portuguese. She never taught me Portuguese because she thought it would be too hard for me to learn. I think she just called me stupid when she said that, though, because I'm pretty sure she was a baby when she learned. Ponder that for a little while. Anyway, I'm going to break my own rule. Romeo is about to be grounded all day until hubby gets home so we can get him on a runner cable. Come on out, boys. I'm getting ready to take them outside. Got the floor in here looking like a crime scene. Y'all see this? Out of the way, Bucky. You don't want to be out here anytime. You see that? Dirt aside, do you see that blood all over the floor? Yeah, that's one reason they got to go out. Go. Go on. Go. Go. Yada yada, move. You, come on. Come on. Go around. I'm going to have a come to Jesus talk if you even think about looking at that fence again. So, finger is sore. It's a little better. Get in there. Bucky. Come on. Not doing any tours of the driveway today, my friend. Go drink out of the bucket. Don't bother me. So, anyway, it turned into a gorgeous day, y'all. Sun glare is there, so I can't really give you a view on that side, and it's not really much to look at on this side. It's a dude working across the street looking all sketchy. Let us not go out there. Might put us on the list for somebody's house to come stop by. I see that lady's there. Nope. Door lock. All about security, y'all. The dogs will let me know if he even thinks about coming up the drive. Anyway, mixed up some Master Brew. See if I can get it in the shot here. That pepper spray that I sprayed, that's Portuguese peppers floating in there, y'all. And I know I say y'all a lot, but you know what? We're in the South, and we say y'all. At least I don't say it like that. I just boiled it. Woo, that stuff's toxic. I don't want to breathe the fumes, y'all. You fan it. You fan it. I don't want it in my nose. Anyway, it's going to go back into this spray bottle. The initial mixture should have been enough to burn his nose when it hit it, but that dog's got some drive on him. He was not caring. He shook it off and sneezed, and that was part of the problem that we had to have the come to Jesus meeting, because he decided that my hand looked good to chomp on today. I don't play that game, ever. Anyway, moving on from the dog business. I'm going to rig up a runner cable for him. He's going to be on that until we can put hot wire. Livestock wire. You know, the stuff that when you touch it goes pow, like a mule just kicked you in your face. That's what's going around the fence, because I want him. He can bark at the fence. You can talk shit to Zeus, but you cannot get on the fence, because he's rocking the whole fence. I mean, that wooden fence is just, theirs is a dilapidated piece of shit anyway. I'm surprised it's even up. I think this is the most I've cursed in the video. See, that's what he did to me, irritated me today. Anyway, I am gonna show you guys the charts like I said earlier, but first I just took an OPK. Where did I put it? Here. Alright, let me grab this, and what I'm going to do is I am going to open the door and I'm going to go outside because it's, you can see it in here. Let me see how well. Alright, here is today's OPK on the bottom. It's wet. And the main thing I want y'all to notice, come on camera, is if you look at CD, almost said cervical day, cycle day 18, the second one from the bottom. That is yesterday's, and you will notice the control lines are all the ones that are dark and matching from the top. The line next to it, closest to that little LH label, that one is the test line, and you can see it is clearly darker than the control line. See if I can get it closer. I don't know if it'll be nice. See? It is darker. Test is darker than the control on day 18. That is an extremely positive OPK, which means there's a whole lot of that luteinizing hormone, thus the LH on there. And that's what basically is pushing that egg out. So I for sure ovulated day 18 because I got my big temperature drop too. I'll do the charts in a second. Day 19 I had to label on the side. You see that blurry mess on there. It's still wet. I just did it like 30 minutes ago. If that. So if you look at day 13 as opposed to day 18. 18 you can clearly see the control line is not as dark as the test. Test is darker. If you look at day 19, notice how much lighter, sorry this paper's getting old y'all, I didn't expect to have to use it this long. If you look at day 19, you can see that the test line, the one closest to the LH label, is lighter than 18's test line, even though it is very close to 19's control line. So technically 19 is a negative, even though it's very close to its own control line. Because I did an OPK yesterday, thankfully, I can see that 18's test line is blazing compared to 19's test line. So on my chart for today, I marked negative. Part of the reason being that FF, Fertility Friend, is going to use that as part of its reasoning and logic of how it comes up with when it thinks I ovulated. I have never seen a chart with 2 crosshairs, so I can tell y'all right now I'm probably only going to get crosshairs on that second one. Even though I know for a fact... Sorry, give me a second, y'all. I'm trying to figure out what I just did. Oh, for the love of God. I might have to print a second December one because I totally just did something stupid. I had labeled this chart up, and in my infinite wisdom, I just overwrote it. So it took all my labels off. Anyway, let me go back and get the one that I had printed for you guys earlier. And, scratch that. This video is going to be too long. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm being semi-frustrated at the moment. It's almost 1. And hubby's going to be off in 2.5 hours. And I am determined that tonight, Friday night, I will have dinner ready when he comes in the door. Instead of that foolishness I did yesterday. Where did I put the OPK paper? Walk with me, people. Walkies. It's like a tour every day when y'all are with me. I'm trying to keep these up. I guess technically this is turning into a vlog channel. I don't know, y'all. I'm not into all this stuff. I just started following people on YouTube. I don't do Twitter, so don't ask. I haven't done it. Excuse me, I'm not an IGer. An Instagram, no. Snapchat, don't do any of that stuff. I barely get on my Facebook page. I've got probably 160 something notifications. Yeah, I post and ghost. So thankfully it notifies me when you guys make comments, so that way I know to comment back. It hits my phone and it comes to the computer as well. So now that I'm outside, I'm going to get in this bright Florida sun. I'm going to let y'all look at the, you know, genius, get in the sun. Okay, I can't see it at all because of the glare, but I figure in the sunlight you guys can definitely see the difference between 18's test and 19's test in the darkness. Okay, moving on from that. Romeo is fervently licking his crotch. Joys of being a male dog. Anyway, if you go back to the inserted photo that I put in earlier today, you'll see on the chart where I labeled yesterday's drop in today's 0.7 temp rise, as well as the day 14 drop with a 0.71 temp rise on day 15. I'm convinced it's 2 ovulations. I have no reason not to think so, and I will show you these charts to help show you why. Don't mind that up there. That's on the to-do list. That's wood that we're ripping down to replace on the outside because Florida is humid as hell. That's better. Ooh, you're teetering. Y'all are on my... Hey! Shut up. Nobody can talk on this street without the mouth. The little one. Anyway, put the hair back up, y'all. Look. Those little crusties from the chemical burns. You can see them there for sure. There's a lot of them. Hubby was trying to pick one last night. I was like, no, 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 no. Anyway, I'll do a deep conditioning either tonight or tomorrow, Saturday. Saturday in the park. I think it was the 4th of July. He's serious about garden over here, y'all, about this worker across the street. I will give the knucklehead that. He does his job. He just needs to realize his job does not include my damn hand. So anyway, moving on. People next door are not home. That's another reason I decided to break my grounding rule of Romeo on the fecal roster. I was going to let him sit in the crate all day. I'm not even joking. No water, no food. He's good. He ate at 12:30 last night, and he had water overnight. So he was going to sit in that crate until hubby came home around 4-ish, and we could get this cable strung up. So I'm thinking right now it's going to run probably from... Like how I keep getting off topic, right? I like to talk about a lot of things with you guys. I don't want this channel to be boring. I've seen some boring ass channels and I have unsubscribed. That big ass oak back there is the sturdiest tree we have. The rest of those are scrawny little crepe myrtles. They're not going to hold his strength. And we will probably go from that big oak back there and run the cable to that. Look like I can almost touch it. Post right here. Doot, 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 doot. That post that my bike is leaning against, I just thought about it. I don't think that's a super sturdy one either. It's not. It's a kind of a porch support, but I think sorry, it's windy out here. I think I moved it. Damn, got my paper dirty. Hey, 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 quiet. Damn. Oh, great. Now I got another one started over here. I have to go inside. You! Quiet. Staying a hard hitting this one. He's in the house, but it's just aggravating. Anyway, kids are at school, so that's why, and mom's at work, so that's why I'm out here. It's nice. It's 73 degrees, y'all. It was 51 this morning. Alright, moving on. This is almost 20 minutes now, and I gotta add it to the other stuff from earlier. Dogfight drama messed everything up today, so here's the chart. Again, and I've updated it so you can see. Sorry about the nails, you know I'm out here with the dogs in the yard. There's my 0.7 rise for today. That's the 0.71 rise for the other day. So here's an ovulation to me on CD14, confirmed by all these little greeneries over here and the positive OPK. Over here, it got a positive OPK, as y'all saw. It was blazing. Sorry, bug is getting me. And there's my positive signs up there. High soft opens, positive OPK, watery CM. Today, it was watery this morning, but I went ahead and changed it on my chart and updated it because when I checked now, when I removed that lovely cup that holds the stuff, some of which came out last night when we pulled the speculum out because we were not doing the same slow pull out that we did before. Anyway, whatever. Still some in there. And scooped up some and put it back in there. But I took the cup out and there was a lot of creamy CM in there. So, and if this is TMI for y'all, you shouldn't be trying to conceive. And if you are trying to conceive, you already know what all this means. You've been talking about it, reading about it, and looking at it on boards and talking to people about it. So, especially if you're long-term trying to conceive, like me. Okay, 2 years, 7 months, y'all. I'm over many things that are TMI, trust me. So anyway. Let me get back up here close so you guys can see. So basically what I did was just now I went in and I updated it to cycle day 19, which technically I am counting as 1 day post-ovulation. So this is 1 DPO to me. But the weird thing is that I am also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days post-ovulation. So I'm going to end up testing starting from this day, 9 days after that. And normally I would get my period 13 days after I ovulate because I'm a 26-day cycle. Sorry, that's that Florida State bird, y'all. We got mosquitoes mid-afternoon. Trying not to get bit. So, period should be 13 days after this. If it didn't work, this might throw it off, though. So it might reset the clock. I don't know. All it can do is test. There's 4 days difference. What, 14, 18. There's 4 days difference between those two ovulation dates. So, let's start from the earliest one because I'm nosy. Those of you that want to be cautious and don't want to I use the 88-cent Walmart test. If you don't want to see those negatives and you get down about it, y'all want to test from a second one here if you ever have this happen to you with 2. Alright, this one over here is not an ovulation, by the way. Somebody asked about that. This is just after the cycle, and what happens that I noticed is with this Clomid, these C's down there, whenever I finish the Clomid, my temperatures, this Florida bird, I'm telling you, the temperatures tend to be all over the place, and this is the last day of Clomid, so it's just craziness in general. That's why I didn't even temp here. This is the period, this is the Clomid. I just was not feeling it. I didn't want to have all the hectic temps like I had last month. So that is this month's chart. That's where I'm at today. So I'm out of the fertile zone as far as this OPK and this creamy CM say. Technically, bit my stomach. Technically, could we do something today? Sure. I'd advise it for couples, but we put a lot of effort in here, y'all. So you see all these eyes that are together. Those are long, involved processes, especially when you're AIing it after you finish with your BD, baby dance. And it's late, and your husband's a teacher, and he's got to be up early, so. You know what, my friend? A mosquito bit me twice in the stomach. Got a bug zapper out here, too, so let me wrap this up kind of quickly. Okay, this one here is just to compare. Now, I can't do it. I just can't. I'm not trying to get seconds. No idea what button I just hit, but it certainly turned that camera right off. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay, so I'm going to stand against the sink, my old faithful over here in the lighting. So let me show you that first one again really quickly to point out one thing. The questionable ovulation was that first one. It is on day 14, that big drop down on number 14. If you look at the temperature that day, it is 97 point, I would say about 7. It's probably 97.07, because remember that's a 4-digit thermometer. So 97.07. So a couple ladies had said, well, you know your chart, it was higher. Mind you, that's the Clomid. I know that now that I've done it another month in a row. And then your temperature went down on day 14, but it came right back up to the same level where the other ones were. So is that really an ovulation? So we were pondering this. Well, I think it is, and this is why. Because when I went back, I had all the fertile signs, first of all. I went back and I had the wide open cervix. Obviously, I have pictures. I put them up. And hubby could see it was wide open, and it was even more open than what's in the pictures, y'all. It's just we didn't think about taking a picture until later. Take my shoes off real quick because I'm sliding, and when I bust my ass on this floor, y'all are gonna laugh. I'm gonna get a lot of views, but I'm not gonna be happy. All right, so I'm gonna go all the way back to September 2016. I've got 4 cycles that I'm gonna show you because there's different things in here that happened, and for those of you who want to know about charting and what it looks like, this will show you a couple different things, because I am a conundrum of trying different things every month, different supplements and whatever. And hubby's on that maca root. It's supposed to be really good for men. Sperm quality, general health, energy level, like he was telling you. It's all kinds of things. But anyway, I don't know if it made a difference, but I mentioned it to him. He took it upon himself and he went out and got it. And he takes his men's vitamin every day. And I cannot complain. He is awesome. Many ladies have husbands and partners that are very difficult to get them to take anything, do anything, change your diet. I started out with crazy supplements, trying everything with him and handing them to him as a handful of pills with his coffee every morning. And he just took them. He made a face, and then he took them. I'm lucky about that. But since then, we have cut back on a lot of that. He's doing the men's daily supplement and just maca this time. And he went and got it on his own. I suggested it. I sent him, I told him about it. And I honestly didn't even know he got it until I got over here and he had the bottle. And he was talking to me about it and showing me videos on it. And I was like, what? Romeo is trying the system, y'all. He's out there running that mouth again. Alright, so this one, as you can see at the top, or not. Jennifer, pay attention. Where are we at? Alright, if you see at the top there, I gotta go on the other side. Sorry, y'all. September 2nd of 2016. I had 2 cycles in September of 2016. I'm normally 26 days apart. This is why. I had 2 cycles because the first one ended, as you can see the red on this side of the paper here. That was the start of the next period, which fell on September 29th. So I started one September 2nd, and I started the next one September 29th. So I'm going to show you that one next. But basically on this chart, that red line, that's crosshairs. That's what Fertility Friend gives you as soon as it has analyzed your chart and you've gotten 3 temperatures that are higher than whatever you had going on over here beforehand, before it detects your ovulation. And you can see my temperature went up to that red line, and it climbed all the way up. So that happened around day 12, where they're hitting the mark for our ovulated there. I think that ovulation was probably an overnight deal. I tend to ovulate usually nighttime, and I'm an insomniac and I'm up all the damn time. So the temperature down just tells you it happened sometime before that. The temperature being down means your egg is already out. So that's crosshairs. For those of you that wanted to know what they look like, don't worry about the dirty nails. Focus on this, y'all. And you can see that I got many positive OPKs that month. No idea what was going on. That was a crazy month. I was doing supplements, but I wasn't doing Clomid or anything. It is hot, y'all. I have to go change what I'm wearing. I'm trying to shuffle my display here because I really don't want to set up at the other table again. This cycle is the one I just told you, the second one for September that started on September 29th. You can see the date right there at the top. Alright, this one, I have blue crosshairs. The reason I have blue crosshairs is because you can see how erratic my temperatures were all over the flipping place, and FF was like, throwing in the towel, I give, bitch. I don't know what you got going on. Well, for me, even if my temps are erratic, because if you do not sleep well, your temps will be all over the place. Well, that's what this is, an ugly ass chart with temps all over the place. Basically, what I ended up doing is forcing crosshairs. You can do that and put them in yourself. And I did my average, they call that the cover line. Sorry, I might have to set this down, y'all, because I want to be able to point, and I can't point. I point on my finger. Okay, here we go. Hopefully nothing on the calendar y'all don't need to see. Anyway, basically, I know that I almost always ovulate somewhere here, CD13. Now, I was doing a bunch of different supplements. I tried soy isoflavins, and it's not marked here, but I remember this. And I also was doing black cohosh. So I was kind of experimenting with those 2 things between September, October, November range. And we didn't need to do that once we got our Clomid. November, sorry, we didn't, because that was Clomid. So these September charts and the October ones, I was alternating between soy and black cohosh together, or one or the other, just to see what would work. And I think I may have had a chemical on one of these cycles. It's hard to tell. A chemical pregnancy is when technically your egg gets fertilized and maybe attaches to the wall, so you start to get a really low level of HCG, but then it just stops. And it happens, it's natural, and stats say something like over 50% of pregnancies are miscarried very early before you even know you were pregnant anyway. So keep trying, people. I'm at cycle 31. Alright, so that's an ugly ass chart. You can see all the zigzags. But what I did is I went to my 3 previous charts and I saw the average cover line where FF put the cover line, and that's what I did this month. I went ahead and forced it in. That's why there's a blue line instead of red. And then what happened here is I forced my ovulation line. I had to, because once you force one, FF is not going to give you the other. I knew that this low point and this sky high climb was my ovulation. And I have my OPKs beforehand. You can see it here. Got a dirty nail, look at that. And watery CM again, so those are my fertile signs. And I would have ovulated 2 days after this positive OPK. And you can see there's a high soft open right here. I didn't check it the morning that it was dropped, these mornings here where it dropped down. So there you go, all the way up. And that was how this is what a forced chart looks like when on Fertility Friend, when you force your numbers in. Might be able to get some more light turning this way, there's a better bulb. So that's what a forced one looks like. I already showed you the regular red crosshair. So in September I got both. I got one where fertility friend said, okay, here's where you're ovulated, and at the end of the month I got one where I had to force it myself. This one is an October chart. Again, doing supplements. You can see that I didn't temp a lot in here. That's what all those dotted lines are. Lazy ass, you missed a day. Lazy, you missed a day. Hey, damn it, you missed a day again. So that's what all these dotted lines are. My computer screen is dim, y'all. I'm sorry, so I can't tell really what you're looking at. Down here, here's my only positive OPK. And you see where I started, CD12, because I am so regular with CD13 ovulation that I didn't even start OPKing until CD12. And it was negative. The next day, now this was probably a close negative. The next day, bam, positive. The lines are equal, or the test line was darker than the control. So I'm going to keep switching sides, sorry. I'm trying to see different things here. So they gave me crosshairs at FF. They were kind. There's my crosshairs confirming they also agree that day 13 was when I ovulated, because that's the low point, and here's a sky-high jump back up. Now you notice all the rest of the temperatures stay up above this cover line. That's really all you're looking for. And really they tell you you don't even need to chart after you get this peak, down and peak, and that confirms your ovulation. You really don't need to chart after that. We all do, because we want to see what the rest of our chart looks like, and if you're pregnant, the chart tends to keep high temperatures, so we're nosy. We like to know. Inquiring minds. All right, that was October. November. Would have made sense if I held up all these sheets before, because it's helping more support with this damn flimsy paper. All right, so November. Let's see what we got going on here. Kind of an odd cycle. I only had 3 days of bleeding. Not sure what that's about, but that's where I started my Clomid. So it did not matter to me, because on day 3 of bleeding, I was going to go right into Clomid. And more than likely, I probably had some spotting here. I just didn't mark it. Spotting looks like little star marks. And like at the end of this, if you look at the end of this red, that's spotting. Whenever you mark spotting, you get little stars. So this is, all right, where am I at here? Okay, this is a chart where I have switched it from advanced mode to OPK mode. Basically what that did is it gave me a straight red line. You see it there? It gave me a straight red line the day after that positive OPK. And this is what I was telling you in the other video. If you mark a positive OPK and put yourself on OPK mode, you see how many negatives I had. Bam, day 14 there's a positive, and I ovulated a couple days late. I was on soy again, I believe in Cohosh. I think this is the cycle I tried both. You're not supposed to try both. Some people said you can. I saw some women's health sites that said both have benefits, so I did try both, because I'm the thread guinea pig on BNB. Mad scientist. I ain't scared. But anyway, I ended up with some nice high temps after. I don't have a cover line. I probably could have gone in and put one around here. 97.3 tends to be my normal, so my cover line would have been here above my finger. You see where those temps are, way up there. Well, this was our first Clomid cycle, as you can see here by the C's. I was good to go. Here's the positive. You can see these. This is regular sexual activity, no AI. So you can see me and hubby were hitting it up just to make sure in case a positive popped up, and it didn't until here, but we did something the exact same day, so it was cool. We had good timing. The weird thing is I had a very short LP, which is your luteal phase, which is when the egg is like, you know, dividing and should be out there fertilized and floating and embedding. Or a fertilized egg just kind of floats its way around and slowly starts to disintegrate, and when it gets to a certain point and the hormones drop, you get this lovely red here because you start a period again. Well, temperatures were nice and high and going up and up and up, and honestly, you guys, I thought for sure that Clomid cycle worked, and that was 50 milligrams Clomid. First time we ever tried it. The way that these temperatures were kind of scaling up like that and looking nice, I really honestly thought that we had done it. Not so much, because my period came super early. You can see that I don't have 13 days here at all. It surprised me. I was literally getting to Let's see here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 8 days post-ovulation. Day 9, I might have had spotting, which is why I didn't test, because normally I would start testing. Day 10, I intended to test, and I had a lovely visitor that same morning when I literally had a test in my hand. Morning urine at the toilet, y'all. Was not amused. So we went right into our next cycle, which is this one. Doubled up the dose of Clomid, and that's where we're at now on the 100 milligram dose of Clomid. Right now I am trying to find my chart for when I had my pregnancy with my 6-year-old now son, because it didn't occur to me until just now, sorry you guys. I wanted to show you what a pregnancy chart can look like. I'm not going to say what they do look like, because they don't necessarily have to. They typically will keep high temperatures, period, meaning well above cover line. That's it. It doesn't mean it's going to stay high. It doesn't mean it'll stay in a certain range. It doesn't mean it's going to be prettier than, you know, other charts, or there's a certain pattern. Everyone's is different. But I, being the mad scientist that I am, decided I was going to chart. As in, take that damn thermometer out from under your pillow. Don't move, don't talk, don't drink, don't get up, don't none of that. Every day for 8 weeks into a pregnancy. That I knew I was pregnant 9 days after ovulation. Mad scientist, y'all. I wanted to know. I was curious as to what a chart would look like. Got all kinds of leaning going on here. Crooked today. All right, so I'm going to get away from this OPK chart. Straight line is all you get. You don't get a cover line if you're on OPK mode. And this is our current chart. Now, mind you, it is zigzaggy as a mug. But now that we finally passed this second damn ovulation, and let me count the days. How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. All right, we finished Clomid on day 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days later. Finished Clomid here on day 8. 6 days later is day 14. That's where my first ovulation is, confirmed by this rise. I had 2 days, well, 2 days of normal temperatures up here, and I don't know about the third one because I forgot the damn thermometer when I came back to hubby's. And then you see 4 days after this ovulation, here's day 18, another ovulation for sure. So hubby's description, TMI, warning, whatever, plug your ears, la la la. He said when he looked at the cervix, when we did the AI last night, that it looked ripe for picking. He said that everything in there looked like super engorged and swollen, and that it was like wide open. So he was gonna take a picture, but frankly I'm tired of looking at my own damn cervix, so I'm not gonna keep posting it for y'all until we got it, because I didn't care. I just wanted to get it done, and it was late and he needed to get up early. We got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and he's at work, poor guy, and he had a long day yesterday too with tutoring. Felt really bad. So where am I at here? So anyway, basically Clomid says anywhere from 5 to 10 days after you will ovulate. So this 14 mark is 6 days after. 4 more days later, 10 days after, y'all. Damn if I didn't hit not only the early mark of when you can ovulate, but also the late mark. I don't know, I would guess that, sorry, I gotta put my shoes on. Y'all saw the floor earlier. When the dogs come in from the yard, it is straight dirt to the floor. I sweep all the time, constantly, so, and mop. Now I got a murder scene to mop up. Ignore the Spanish. It's the television. Oh wow, this chart is huge. I forgot how long this bad boy was. Charting for 60 something days ain't no joke, y'all. Excuse me, 59 days. I'm gonna sit here because I know y'all are tired of watching this computer bob around, and I can get this picture in the light enough that you can see it, I'm sure. Okay, last one, you guys, and then I can upload this joker. I've been trying to do this since last night. Needed today's information. All right, so I'm going to show you what a pregnancy chart looks like. There's a lot of stuff on here to explanate. Let me move to the light. Step into the light, Carol Ann. Thought I was going to do it over there, but I'm not. Try to make good videos and not be a lazy heifer. Let me put all these other sheets behind. This is a 60-day chart. You see all that yellow background? Regular chart. You see the difference in size when you chart for 8 weeks. All right, I'm gonna show you all the pregnancy chart. This is the one for my 6-year-old son, because I was charting way back in 2009, and he was conceived early 2010. He was born in October of 2010. Sorry, I have a notification on my screen I got to get rid of because I can't see the paper over there. All right, so let's see. 60 days, y'all. You see the number down here? Day 59. It's day 59 on the island, and I'm not sure if I'll ever get rescued. All right, I'm gonna back up a little. See where I'm looking at here. Okay, so my cycle started on, where's the date? Oh, ain't that ugly. All right, it was too big to print apparently, because look, it only started on day 3 instead of day 1. Anyway, I know it was early January when, oh, it was in January, I'm sorry. It was around January, 9 days earlier, in the teens, because I want to say I got my positive 9 days after ovulation with him. I ordered those little 15 MIU strips. Now you can get 10 MIU strips online at Amazon and a couple other different places, eBay. Back then it was only eBay pretty much. People were ordering those off of, and I had 15 MIU strips, which means milli international units, I believe. Anyway, that's the strength or the sensitivity of the test. The lower the number, the more sensitive it is, and 10 is the lowest you can get that I'm aware of. Doctor's offices tend to use around 25, sometimes 50. My doctor did. So if you guys ever think you're pregnant, you go to a doctor and they do a test and they say, nope, negative, doesn't mean you're negative. Just means that they may be using a test that's not as sensitive because they want to CYA and not tell you 10 days later that you're, or sorry, 9 days later that you're pregnant, and then you have an early miscarriage, which is technically a chemical because it's before your period was due, and then you want to go back and sue them because they told you that you were pregnant and you end up getting your period and you want to sue them for false information. No, that's how that works. So please don't do that. You'll look silly in court. Don't. All right, so anyway, I'll show you this really quick so I can wrap this shit up. I ramble too much. Crosshairs, I'm going to step back. You can see that crosshairs are here. Period actually started about here where my finger is because 2 days are missing. Cycle was 7 days long back then. They're typically 5 now. Here's my watery CM, and back then I actually made egg white cervical mucus. That's that gooey stuff I told you is the most fertile type. This watery is the second. Egg white. I actually made it back then, and there's 2. I think back then I used to get guaifenesin. It's basically the same as, it's a mucus thinner. Lord, I can't think of the trade name at the moment. It'll come to me when I'm not filming. But if you go to the dollar store, you know I talk about the dollar store, you can get guaifenesin. In the cough syrup section, they have it in pills. I actually get in a little bottle. It's got tablets in it. I want to say there's like 15 of them in there, maybe 20. You want to take it about 5 days before you think you may ovulate, at least. Some people take it longer. Basically, it's a mucus thinner, guaifenesin. When you go to the dollar store, it's going to say that it is a mucus thinner. That's exactly what it says on the bottle, or in the box. The bottle is in the box, and if you get pills. Syrup, avoid the syrup, because I can tell you the syrup that they have typically has other medication mixed in it. It's a cough medication, thins mucus and suppresses the cough. You don't want that one. That one is not going to help you thin your mucus. You want just guaifenesin. That's it. Mucus thinner only. You can get it at Walmart. I want to say it's like $5 to $7. Go to the dollar store, people. Save yourself the hassle. Save some money. Anyway, Lord, can't get Mucinex. I'm sorry, Mucinex. That's the name of guaifenesin on the shelf. And they have 2 different types. One has the cough suppressant thing in it that's extra. You don't want that. You want the label that just says guaifenesin. And I want to say that the recommended dose, don't quote me on this, you'll have to look it up, is about 1,200 milligrams a day. So on the dollar store one, it is, I want to say it's 400 milligrams a tablet, so that would be 3 a day of those. Not positive. I haven't looked at the bottle in a while, and we did not do it this time. I did use pre-seed last night, like I started to tell you all, and I'm not sure why I got interrupted on that, on the other video, but We used pre-seed. It came with the AI kit. I finally found the little package that I lost of lube. It's basically lube, this sperm friendly. It reduces the pH, the acidity inside the J to make it more sperm friendly and neutral, and it's very watery, like the CM should be. So because I had some creamy going on, you know, kind of at the start of the day, it went watery and it was still kind of creamy later. Went ahead and dumped the pre-seed in first, and then we put the swimmers in, so that way they'll have a nice little Michael Phelps-like watery pool to swim through. All right, moving on. Let me get back to this so I can explain a pregnancy chart. All right, overall, if you just look at it from a distance, before ovulation temps, kind of up and down everywhere. Mind you, I don't sleep well, never did, and I didn't take medicine then to sleep. I'm not taking it now because I don't want to take it. There's my dip, and it came down then. Oh, it cut off the end of the chart too, so I don't have the temperatures. Usually temperatures are on both sides of your chart. I honestly don't know. I can tell you this, because I had to post this for a couple ladies one time on the board. These here, this row of temperatures is not very high. I want to say it's just above 98 degrees. So these are in the 97s. This would be down in the 96s. Back then, my lower temps before ovulation would drop into the 96s. Now, no. I was getting up earlier for work then though. So I used to temp at like 5:30, 6 in the morning. And when I took my temperature the last 2 days at 5:30 in the morning, they are, even today, they are in the 96 range. Like today was 96.9. That's how I ended up with a 97.6. Temp, wait, 96.8. I can't do math right now. I'll go back to the chart. I'm an idiot. I've done too many videos and too many math things today. Lost my mind. That's not even the right chart. It's the one behind it, Jennifer. The first one you showed us. How do you not know what your own crap is supposed to be? Alright, today's was 97.6. And it started as a 96.9, which would be way down here. The reason that that dot is up here is because, mind you, my normal temp time now is 9 in the morning. So when I get up with him at 5:30 to get him out the door and get breakfast and get the dogs out and all that, I'm getting up and temping earlier than normal. So I use that when my baby temperature adjuster that I talked about in the other video. That is what adds on 0.2 degrees Fahrenheit per hour earlier. And that's, I think it comes to 0.7, because I had the same thing the day before. I had to add 0.7. And the day before, the day that had this lovely dip on day 18 that I thought was ovulation, and I think is ovulation, I know is ovulation, right here, this day was 96.1 on the thermometer. So you add 0.7, you get 96.8. That's why that one is so low, and this one is so much higher, because this one started at a 96.9. This one started at a 96.1. There's a big difference in your chart with temperatures. That's why they recommend the 4-digit thermometers, more accurate. All right, anyway, from a distance, if you look at a pregnancy chart, notice here's your cover line. There's my ovulation mark. These are your crosshairs. Before temps don't matter, doesn't matter. After, there's my low point where I ovulated, all the way up, big surge, that is showing I ovulated. It's confirmation the egg is out. If you look at my timing for then, where that red line here is indicating ovulation, where they think it was, it's cycle day 14. Again, I probably ovulated between 13 and 14 overnight. It doesn't matter. Your temperature shows low after the egg is out. Here's watery egg white. Egg white's even better. And here's my timing. 2 positive OPKs on the 14th and the 15th. I ovulated on the 14th, so you can get a positive the day after you ovulate even. It just depends on when your LH levels go low enough for the test to start fading. High, soft, and open, you see the greens? This is the prime fertile area here. Didn't do anything right before. I can tell you that. I don't think we did anything at the beginning of this month until this point, because I was specifically wanting to sway for a boy. And boy swaying, you want to get the swimmers in there as close to this ovulation point as possible. And if you look at that red line and you look at where activity occurred, which is the 2 letters here, PM and PM, I believe. Nope, sorry, AM and AM, ignore me. AM and AM. I'm reading backwards and my screen's dim. If you look at those 2 points, you'll see that it's right near that red mark. That is gender boy sway. I'll get into a video on gender swaying and what you can try to do. It's not a guaranteed thing, but it did work for us. We have a little boy. He's 6 years old now. So anyway, from a distance, you can see my temperatures went up. From here, there's a spike. You have a fallback, which is normal. Slowly climbed. Some people's chart goes here, here, and it just skyrockets, you know. Other people, it's way here, and it slowly makes its way up on pregnancy charts. So there's no way to judge. Some people have their chart go up, and it drops below the cover line, goes back up, drops below the cover line again, and back up, and they are pregnant, and they have babies that are healthy. You can't judge after, which is why they tell you stop temping after you get this part right here to confirm. I'm nosy, y'all. I went 8 weeks. 8 weeks. And that's another misnomer. People think your cervix is immediately going to turn soft when you're pregnant. If you look down here, high, soft, and open. If you look after, there's a medium texture. Low, firm, and closed. All the way through here. You look over here, and this is after I got my positive. See those greens above my finger? These are all positive pregnancy tests. On 8 days after, the night of 8 days after, I had a negative because I was nosy and couldn't wait anymore. On 10 days after, I remember this well, I had a negative again with first morning urine. I waited 12 hours and tested at 9 p.m. or so that, I'm sorry, later that night around, it was almost 9 p.m. though. So a little more than 12 hours, and I got my positive. And it was extremely faint, even on that 15 MIU test. That's very early testing, you guys. So don't be disheartened if you don't see something right away or you only see a shadow. Just give it time. Okay, so anyway, you can see the cervix. I've got firm. At best, I've got medium texture. There is no soft texture in this cervix all the way to 8 weeks, people. So please don't let anybody tell you that there's something wrong with your pregnancy or you can't be pregnant because your cervix didn't get soft right after you ovulated. Bullshit. It has nothing to do with that. So anyway, in general, my temps stayed high. I felt good about it. I started testing here with that negative. And you see where my temperatures were. They were at this point. They had just gone up a little more. I started testing negative. This morning was negative, and then it turned into positive that night. So if I can get close enough, you'll see the line goes from blue between the dots to green. And there's another thing too. When you look at anybody's chart, this green is starting, sorry, I'm trying to keep it steady. Here's 8 days after, here's 9 days after. When you mark a positive on 9 days after, your green line will go back to connect to your 8-day post-ovulation line. It doesn't mean that person got a positive on the 8th day. You have to look down there at the HPT box, which would mark over here. It would say HPTs, which is on that line. And that would give you these. I got many, many, many positives, and I'll show you one last thing. For chart teaching purposes. Many positives. I had all these test strips, so I was just testing away and happy as a clam. Well, way down here, I finally got to the doctor's office and they finally gave me a pregnancy test with blood. Blood pregnancy test came up positive, and whenever you get a blood pregnancy test, a beta is what it's called, there's your B with a positive. So that is confirmation because it has to get in your urine. Well, actually, it's got to attach, and you'll get a teeny little bit in your blood, and it will work its way to your urine. Okay, so there's a little delay. Typically, they say about when you ovulate, assume that you fertilize that egg. The boys were waiting, girls were waiting, whatever. Swimmers were waiting. Once they fertilize that egg, you have a 3-day, roughly. Mind you, there's very sensitive tests now, but roughly still, you have a 3-day wait before you're going to see anything after implant. Implant, from everything I've read, all the people that I've talked to in the medical profession, even the fertility doctor for IVF when I did my surrogacy. I will get into that one day as well. I carried twins for a couple, still keep in contact. They're a year older than my son. It's awesome. Highly recommend it if any of you out there are able and or thinking about doing a surrogacy. Great experience. What was I saying? Oh, the doctors, embryologists, fertility doctors, all of them said that from the time the egg comes out and gets fertilized, because the swimmers can be waiting right there in the tube to jump it, the egg has to come down the tube and has approximately like a 60-hour hold time when it gets to the bottom of the tube. There's just a narrowing of it. And that's to allow the cells to start to divide and that shell to thin on the outside, because it can't implant on your wall of your uterus until that shell has thinned enough for it to actually start breaking out and attach its little tendrils in there and start digging into you like aliens. Because that's what it does. Watch some videos, y'all. It's like aliens, really. And yeah, pretty much. So basically it's going to be in the tube for a little bit, and it's not really going to drop into your uterus even until about day 5. I believe it's blastocyst stage. Day 5. A lot of people will start testing it 8 days after. Because day 5 plus 3 days to implant, and you know, if it came in and stuck immediately and dug in, they test on day 8, and there are people who have gotten very, very faint positives on these extremely sensitive new tests, even on the Walmart test, y'all. That's why I'm saying that one's not an extremely sensitive one, but per the wrapper, but obviously it's picking it up early as well. Day 9 is more common. Because that is actually 9 days after implant. Day 6 is really when that outer shell around your little embryo has totally thinned itself to where it is just almost gone. And that's the easier day for it to implant from then on. You can implant as late as 12 days after ovulation, they say, which would mean the embryo is just floating around in there. Maybe the walls of your uterus are not in the right condition for it. Maybe it's bouncing and trying and it just can't do anything. So, you know, it can happen a little later. Maybe your hormones are behind, whatever. I don't know. I'm not into all that. Romeo's about to get beat, y'all. He's just trying the system. You hear that whooping? Can y'all leave him alone? He's trying to work. No, I'm not happy with you. Don't wag your tail at me. Anyway, okay, so where was that? Man is standing over there, standing at the mailbox. No wonder. I'd be barking at him too, looking crazy. So, 12 days. Let me see if he's still over there. He is. Do you see him by the mailbox? He's like a crazy stalker over there. That's just weird. Why are you standing there like that? It's like one of those horror movies, y'all, where, you know, somebody's like standing back in the trees and the person doesn't know they're being followed. So anyway, try to see if I can finish this video out here because it's nice and bright. The weather's good, 73 degrees, if not higher. Anyway, 12 days post-ovulation is what they say is the latest you can implant, and I am a 13-day LP girl, so I can tell you that if that sucker hadn't attached by day 12, I'm probably going to flush it out when my period starts. That is a late implant, and they have a lower success rate. ROMEO stop. The most common implant day per studies that I've read is actually 11 days after ovulation. Don't know why, just is. They claim the earliest you can get a positive test is 7 to 8 days after. Now going by the doesn't thin out until day 5 days after ovulation to 6 days, I don't know how you would get one as early as 7 days. I would imagine that may be a case of like mine where you've got more than one egg that came out at a different time, and or you got some twins going on in there that are just cranking that HCG the minute they hit the sidewalls, and that's why your numbers jump up so much faster. Don't know. Don't claim to know all of the stuff. Just say, go online, check it out, read. I'm at 37.5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and attach these other ones and hope that it's not an hour. Bye, y'all.